Hello everybody, today I'm going to be talking about 9 different building tips that you can use inside of your Minecraft base to make it look a little bit better. These are tips that I personally use or things that I think about when I'm building a base. You won't find these in other videos. I tried really hard to create a unique set of tips to hopefully help you in your building process. I am live on TikTok and Twitch quite a bit, so if you have any questions that go unanswered in this video or something specific that you need help with, feel free to reach out and leave a comment or check me out. But without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Okay, so the first thing I wanted to talk about are stairs, specifically spiral stairs. I noticed that a lot of the time people have a difficult time when it comes to making a spiral staircase. And for me, the way that I like to break it up is depending on how big of an area you are going to be building in. For me, I'll just be using oak and wood, but in the demonstration, I have them in vibrant colors so you can see each of the different pieces. But the way that it works is if we have a pillar in the middle and the outside area is a 3x3, well, I guess a 5x5, but you get the point. So if it looks like this and that's as big as we can get, a lot of the times people try and do like this and like this, and it just ends up getting really messy really quickly. And so to avoid that, what I always like to do is start on the side, on the flat face, not on the corner, go 2 blocks out to the edge of the wall, and then go up and fill this corner in so you can see that you have the corner taken care of, and then go to the other flat face and go up by a half slab every single step. And if you repeat this process, you can see that it gets really easy and you can go faster and faster. And then eventually it'll become second nature and you'll know that this is the way to make a spiral staircase. It looks fantastic and it's also scalable as well. So if you want to make it a little bit bigger, what you can do is you can just extend this out by 1 block. And you still have the same staircase and it still fits inside of that area. And you can even go crazier and maybe do something like this so that it ends up looking more of like a square. You can customize it as much as you want, but typically this is what I will find myself doing in terms of a staircase. Just remember to keep it within the bounds of your tower. Moving on to the second thing that I think about is when I'm doing a wall. It could be any type of wall. In this case, I just decided to do a cobblestone wall. Most times I see people just leaving it flat. So like if this was a castle, it would just be like this big, you know, go out and then maybe it'll come back and then that'll just be the castle wall and it'll just be straight cobblestone. And something that you can do to make it look better is to add some kind of wear and tear, almost as if, you know, nature has been reclaiming its place, or having it be, you know, trying to simulate the overgrowth of all the grass. So the way that I do this is I usually just pick out a few blocks, and I will talk about it later, what blocks to pick out and stuff like that. But I'll normally just pick out a couple blocks, and starting with the greenest, going all the way to gray. And then what I'll do is I'll just kind of start from the bottom. So I'll dig this out and just make it all green, and then I'll go in, maybe add a couple here, a couple there, and then I'll go up the next, and maybe I'll only do that. So then I'll put this, maybe one of these and those, and just kind of like make it look random. And then what you can do with this glowing moss is if you put it on top of the moss, then it will almost give the appearance as if it's more of a gray, which is a really good transition into more of the cobblestone textures. And so since we already have cobblestone here, I'm going to go in and start adding andesite. One thing I should mention is try to avoid big patches of the same type of block. It's important that you make it speckled or checkerboard almost, you know, where there's kind of 3 here and then a couple here. It's to give that appearance of it being more faded. And honestly, I don't really like how bold this cobblestone is next to the wall. So what I might do is I might change this out for the glowing moss to try and just kind of give it that much more of an appearance. And then moving up from the andesite gets a little bit more common up here. And then eventually, then I'll start putting in the gravel. Only a little bit, you know, because you want it to remain kind of like cobblestoney, more grayish. And just like that, you have a really good textured wall. Maybe I'm going to go in and I'm decide, oh, I don't like that, so I'm going to add in some moss. And this looks way better than that flat cobblestone wall that we had before. When you first look at this, you're probably thinking, what is this? This means nothing. It's just wool on the ground. But the reason why I have it marked out the way that I do is when I'm planning a build, typically it's good practice to have it be in odd numbers. So 1, 3, 5, 7, etc. And that's because you can do things like this. You can make the windows centered and stuff like that, or you can put a doorway in the center. And what these orange things are is this orange wool is actually the pillars. So the pillars go here. And then if I was going to make like a cobblestone house, then I would get some cobblestone and put that in between, stuff like that. And you know, if I wanted to add a door, then I could just grab a door and put it right there. And then you can see how this is a better approach than just kind of using random numbers. It helps to really plan out your design before you actually get to building. So for this demonstration here, I wanted to talk about the difference between this side and this side. And there's a few main things that you can notice, but the overarching idea that I really wanted to talk about is depth. A really important part of a good Minecraft build is adding as much depth as you possibly can. Even just as simple as pushing the windows back by a block. You can see how right here I moved it back by 1. The wood and pillars are exactly in the same spot as they are over there, but the windows are back 1, and to fill the gap at the bottom, I put a planter box. And not only does this add depth, but you can also go in and add a flower. So if I wanted to add like an orchid, then I can put it right here. And now I have a really pretty flower in front of my window. It also allows us to add things like lighting and this cool stuff. I don't know what this is called. I'm no architect, but I just think it looks really pretty. It almost reminds me of like arches, you know, above the window. And some really cool things that you can do is you can actually create a really smooth shape when it comes to creating an arch. And the way that I do that is I start by placing a sign. It needs to be 3 blocks tall at least. So I'm actually going to raise this up by 1 so that you can keep it in line with that. But you start with a sign. You can, most of the time you can leave it blank, but if you just want to put like whatever on there, then that works too, but you will be able to see it. So just be careful of that. And then you do a trap door, and then you do a stair. And you could even go as far to put another trapdoor up here, and then all of a sudden we have this really smooth archway that goes up instead of it just being kind of jagged. Like, I know a lot of people do this as well, and it looks too jagged. I like smooth curves. Another really important thing is that when you're going to be making a house and it kind of juts out, you can actually just extend this out, and there you go. You have even more depth than you did before, and then you can, you know, move it out like this and then just continue your house upward. So in this demonstration, it's actually quite simple. It follows the same technique as we did over there when we talked about depth, but I noticed that a lot of people, their roofs are flat. They're very 2D and could look so much better by just pushing the blocks forward and back. So for this, you can see it's just a door and there's the wall, and maybe this is just like your roof. You could push it back that way. And you just call it a day, and that'd be your house. But with this example, you can see how we're also incorporating the 3 blocks. So it goes 3, and then the pillar, and then another 3, and a pillar, and so forth. So we have 1 pillar here, 3 blocks across, another pillar, and you can see that we pushed this doorway back a little bit, and we added a cool light. And then right here, this looks really complicated, but all I did is for the very front face right here, if I just did upside down stairs on the under part, and then for the very front, I just added an upside down stair, just like that. And then on the other side, you can see that I have the upside down stairs. And then for the very top, I just added a slab just to top it off. And then this would be like your roof. And then you can add, like, if the roof is bigger, then you can add like a little window up top. I didn't in this one, but you can add like a window. And then another thing that I forgot to mention is just trying to give it that little bit more depth. Instead of putting the doorway flush with the wall, what I did instead is I pushed the wall back, but I also pushed the door back as well to try and give it that extra layer. And normally what people do is they just leave it like that. But one thing that I like to do when I make the doorway kind of inset is I like to add an upside down stair, almost to give it like a little roof almost. So for this one's a little bit more advanced, and it looks super overwhelming when you first look at it. But the main thing that I wanted to talk about in this demonstration is I wanted to talk about the power of the lectern. The lectern is a very unique shaped block. You can create a whole bunch of different things with it, and in this case I decided to make it into a couple windows. And it's really as simple as, you know, this could be anything. This could just be an oak plank if you really wanted it to be, and pretend this is like on the wall of your house, so obviously they wouldn't be floating here. But if this was on your house, you can create some really cool designs by, you know, playing with the lecterns and just giving them all this amazing shape. And you could even stack them maybe if that's kind of more your style. But right now, I just really wanted to, you know, get the brain working, hopefully to give you some cool ideas on some window designs. You know, again, it's got a lot of depth, it's got a lot of texture, and just overall looks really, really nice. So for this one, I really wanted to talk about the 3 main roof shapes that I like to use, and I like to call this the steep one, the regular one, and then the like small like mushroom one. And it kind of depends on the style that I'm going for. So if this is typically more like Viking, like very tall pronounced buildings, and then this one could just be like your regular house or maybe like a blacksmith or something. And then these, I like to make it where it's very, you know, in the forest, in the like secluded, try to keep it low profile. And same technique as before, you know, I just did the upside down stair and then upside down stair just over and over, and then at the top just another upside down stair. And for this though, all I did is in between each of these I just put a block. So it would be a stair, an upside down stair, and then a full block like this, and then a stair, an upside down stair, and then a full block like this. And so you can see that I can just go up and up and up as tall as I want. And then once I get to a point where I'm like, okay, that's a pretty tall roof, I really like it, then I just throw an upside down stair, and then I just go right back down this side. So it would just be a block, upside down stair, a regular one, a block, upside down stair, regular one, and then you just go all the way back down. And then just like that, you have the like outline to your house, and then it's just a matter of pushing it back and filling it in. And I think that this is like a really good shape for a house. It gives it a lot of, as I said earlier, it's very pronounced, it's very bold, and typically when someone would look at it, that's the first thing they're going to see. Additionally, you can add these little side windows right here, and it is so simple to do. I'll replicate it on this side. All I did is I got rid of these 3 blocks, and then I put 2 right here, and then I just filled it in like this. I just had a block right here on either side, a stair on either side, and then an upside down one here to try and complement the window. Because what I'll do is I'll put a window in right here, and I will, you know, there we go. And then I will just put the window just like that. And of course your house will have, you know, stuff on the inside. I just have black concrete because it's just a demonstration house. But your house could be, you know, way bigger, and then like later down the line I'll tell you about, you know, how to make them look even better. For this one, it's a very similar concept. I have it all laid out right here so you can kind of see the blocks that I'm placing. regular, you can see all the upside down ones. And then also right here, this one is so simple. I'll give you an example on the other side. You're probably like, well, this is too angled. How do I do that? Well, the same thing as before. Just get rid of these blocks, and then notice how there's kind of a gap right here. You're gonna have to break this one and replace it so that it connects to the side right there, and then break these, put the upside down stair, and then right here what I'll do is I'll just put slabs, and you can see just like that I have this amazing inset roof, and I can even place a window just like that. And then this one though, this one's probably one of my favorites. I don't know what happened there, but I think I'm missing a block. Let me fix that really quick. So right here you can see that it is very curved. It is very, it has a very shallow curve to it. It's very smooth, and the way that I did this is you can see that I have a slab as the very first thing on the side. So the actual pillar to the house would be going right about here. So you can see that the roof starts right there. And then all I did is I just added a stair on top of it. And you can see that it's 5 long. It just goes slab, stair, and then an upside down stair, go all the way back, and then a slab, and then a block, and then 2 slabs to kind of give it that full block appearance, but it's technically 2 slabs on top of each other. So I'll build that for you right now so you can see. So we have the slab right here, and then we have the stair, and then we have the upside down stair, and a slab, and a block, and then 2 slabs on top. And you can see now that we've created that really nice curve. And then going back down on the other side, we have a block, and then we have a slab, and then we have the upside down stair and the regular stair, and then at the very bottom we have another slab. And then just like that, we created that very nice curve. As I said, it almost reminds me of like a mushroom house or like a hobbit house, something that's very low profile and almost meant to blend in. So for this right here, these probably look like a really big mess of blocks, but it's actually from this website called blockpalettes.com. And this website has been one of my favorites for a very long time. It's really important that the blocks you pick complement each other, whether it be directly with like their color, or maybe you have a 2-tone house. So right here you can see that there's a lot of gold and yellow, but then maybe some white and like just a splash of green, or maybe your whole palette wants to be green. So then you have all these amazing blocks right here that go really nicely. And I was talking about over there how there's the fading. You can absolutely do this same concept with these palettes right here. I will put a link to Block Palettes down below. It's a free to use website. You can search, you can find, you can put specific blocks in. It is by far one of my favorite Minecraft resources available on the internet. Going hand in hand with these block palettes right here, pretend that this is your roof. I went ahead and already did it, so I'm gonna just explain to you what I did differently about this roof to set it aside from a regular roof that you might see. You can see that I've incorporated a lot of the different techniques that I have talked about earlier. We have the windows, we have the steep shape, all this beautiful stuff. However, one thing that I did differently is instead of making this all the same color, instead of making it all spruce, you can see here that, if this was to all be spruce, it'd get really overwhelming and it'd just be super bland. And so to fix that, I went ahead, and this is one of my personal favorite color combos, is this beautiful dark prismarine and also the spruce, just kind of as an outline to give it some texture. And if you don't have dark prismarine, you can use any of these palettes. You can tailor it specifically to your needs, but a really common one is actually just oak. Oak and spruce, have been like peanut butter and jelly since the dawn of Minecraft. Very common. You can see already that this is looking amazing, even just by swapping out the color. And honestly, that's the beauty of Minecraft, is if you don't like something, you can change it in just, a couple seconds of your time. And you can see here now, it looks you know, it looks absolutely stunning. You know, if you show this to your friends, they'd be like, whoa, where'd you learn all that amazing stuff? And just like that, you can see that even just putting in a little bit of wood, you can see that there are so many different color options when it comes to building roofs. And it's all just a breakdown of the simple shapes. So you can see here that it's the stairs, and then a block, and then the stairs, a block, and so on. And I could do the same exact thing with any of these different shapes over here. If I wanted to make it just the classic, or if I wanted to make it super mellow, all of these are very, very easy to do and very, very simple to make it your own. There's so many different things that you can customize with this. Anyways, guys, so that's going to be wrapping it up. I just want to say thank you so much for your continued support. I've been working really hard on this video. I really wanted to be super in-depth about all of the different things that I do in Minecraft. If you guys have any questions or comments, make sure to leave them down below. As I said earlier, I will be linking all of the resources in the description, so make sure to check that out. If you're not in the Discord already, we would love to have you. There's a whole bunch of expert builders in there who can give you advice, give you tips, tricks, or if you want to message me directly, feel free to do that as well. But other than that, I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Get some food, get some water, and most importantly, take care of yourself.